Today I will explain you ratios and proportion but the real world application. Today we're going to use the ratios and proportions to apply in real world situations. For this video I have 3 examples. Then in each one you're going to solve the problems with the proportions and with using the idea of ratios. Remember, ratios, if you don't know what is a ratio and what is a proportion, you can see in the video description you can see the other 2 videos about ratios and proportions. Ratios basically it's when you compare 2 quantities, and proportion it's the equality of 2 ratios. For example, we have the first situation that we have a recipe use 5 cups of flour for every 2 cups of sugar. If I want to make a recipe of using 8 cups of flour, how much sugar should I use? The problem is talking about 5 cups of flour and for every 2 cups of sugar. This one it's our data. And here we have, remember, first we need to follow this idea, the data, the plan, and the answer. In the data we have 5 cups of flour for every 2 cups of sugar. So this situation you can represent as a ratio in this way. So we are going to compare the flour over the sugar, because you are comparing these 2 quantities. And remember, this is a proportion, so you're going to do the same in the other part. So it's going to be this over the sugar, but with different quantities. Remember, basically we are going to try to find the value for the sugar that we're going to use in 8 cups of flour. So in the first one tell us that we have 5 cups, so it's going to be 5 cups of flour, so we're going to be 5 over 2 equal flour over sugar. In the second one we have 8 cups, but we don't know the quantity of sugar, so in this case I'm going to use the letter S to represent, or the variable S to represent the sugar as a variable. And then remember, in proportion, when we have proportions we use the cross multiplication, so we are going to multiply S times 5 2 times 8 to align the terms. So we're going to have S multiplied by 5 is going to be 5S equal 8 multiplied by 2 is equals to 16. Then we divide both sides by 5 to eliminate the coefficient with a variable. So we're going to have 5 divided by 5 is going to be just the letter S, or the sugar, over 16/5. In this case we are going to leave this answer in fractions, okay? But even if you want to pass this one to decimal, you can do it, but in this case I'm going to leave like a fraction, and we are going to cancel 5 divided by 5, so give us 1. Remember, if you have 1x, is the same that you have only x, or 1s is equals to just s, because we understand that the letter s is with the number 1. So at the end, in the answer we're gonna have, how much sugar should I use? I used 16/5 cups of sugar. And we already finished this situation about a recipe. Remember, it's important to write a ratio. What quantities are you comparing? You are comparing the cups of flour and the cups of sugar. Now, in the second example, we have the situation. Mel fills his gas tank up with 6 gallons of premium unleaded gas for a cost of $26.58. How much will it cost to fill a 18 gallons tank? In this case, we have 6 gallons for $26.58. So we have the ratio 6 to 26.58. So you're going to compare gallons to the cost. And the question is asking you, how much will it cost, the cost per 18 gallons? So in the plan, we already have the data here. In the plan, we are going to compare the gallons over the cost. Okay, so we are going to represent gallons over the cost, and this one is going to be a proportion. So we're gonna write gallons over the cost. Okay, cost. And here, remember the cost, it's in dollars. So here, in the first one we have 6 gallons. The cost it's 26.58. So it's going to be 6 over 26.58. This is going to be equal how many gallons? In the question we have 18 gallons over the cost that we don't know. The value for 18 gallons we don't know, so we are going to solve with this proportion. So remember, it's going to be this times this and this times this. It's the cross product in this case. So we are going to multiply C times 6, it's going to be 6C equal 18 multiplied by 26.58. Then remember, it's important to solve this multiplication, so we're going to have 6C equal, and when you multiply 26.58 times 16, you got 425.28. And then you have to divide both sides by number 6, because remember we need to cancel the over 6, both sides is going to be 425.28. And then we're going to have the value for the cost of 18 gallons, because remember the cost we don't know for 18 gallons. So it's going to be 425.28 divided by 6 is going to be 70.88. So the question is, how much would it cost to fill 18 gallons? Okay, so we're going to write to fill 18 gallons. The cost for 18 gallons could be the answer. The cost for 18 gallons will be 18 gallons of unleaded gas is $70.88. Okay, remember, it's important to write a symbol for dollar because it's asking you for dollars. Now in the third part, we have this one. We are going to compare the quantity of dollars and euros. So we have the situation that if 4 US dollars can be exchanged for 1.75 euros, how many euros can be obtained for 144 US dollars? So we are going to compare the dollars. We are going to compare, I'm going to use this symbol, even you can use this, I'm going to use dollars, the word dollars over, I'm going to use D for dollars and E for euros, equal D over E. You can do it this way. It's better if you write the whole word, like dollars and euros, because you can identify better. But remember, the first step is to identify what ratios do you need to compare. In this case, we have in euros. Now, remember we have 4 US dollars for 1.75 you're gonna get. So it's going to be 4 over 1.75 equal the quantity of dollars in the second part. It's 144 over, and we don't know the quantity of euros, because this is the question, how many euros are you going to have for $144? So we are going to use the across multiplication in this case, and we are going to have E times 4, it's going to be 4E. That means euros, right? And 1.75 times 144, 1.75. And then you have to solve this situation, and you're going to have 4E equal, and you multiply 144 times 1.75 euros, that means 152. Then you divide both sides by 4, in this case, so divide by 4 here, and we are going to have the euros for to 144 euros is going to be 144 times 1.75. This is 252 divided by 4. This is a mistake. So it's going to be divided by 4. You're going to have 63 euros. Okay. How? Finally, we have the answer in this case. So it's going to be this one. Okay. Now, how are we going to prove this one? If you multiply 63 times 1.75, 63 times 1.75, you're gonna get this quantity, and then you have it. So now in the answer you will have with $144 you're gonna have an exchange. You're gonna have an exchange of 63 euros. Okay, and that's the answer for this situation, and we finish with this problem. We already have the answer, and remember, basically you have to create a proportion and then you have to use cross multiplication to solve for the missing value.